As far as the fees in your general proposal for council proposal, you came short on the administrative fees. Also, we didn't consider Donna's fees when Megan was off on vacation and now she's having surgery. And also, what else was it? That beautification, I know Chamber of Commerce is doing city-to-city beautification program, and that's just to cover that. If council wants to do the beautification program with the chamber. Fred had advised about Megan's computer. It's taken 2 hours to download information. Is that right, Fred? Okay. And that's the proposal for that, so.
Is there any way we could get an explanation of what Megan and what you were saying per line item? More of a Cliff Note version of why the increase?
Yeah, this
For the
is a
administrative fees?
this is
For everything from 1
This
through
is a lot
30.
to take in.
It is a lot to take in, and it's a big number, but the big number is because of the Oakwood project. We cannot move forward.
But that's not stopping us from getting bids.
No, we're gonna get bids, but I have to wait on Art Harden to get that finished before we can get bids.
And we've
Yeah.
already set a budget for the salaries for the year.
You were
And-
short.
No, we weren't short.
Yes, you, yes.
No, we weren't
Yes,
short.
your council.
Yeah.
Miss Megan's done this for 19 years, and that was short. You wanna explain that there, Megan, how you came up with that number?
Okay, for the clerk's fee, I took the hourly,
What number are you on, Megan, please?
We're on the council's proposal.
On what number? What line item number?
I'm right in this box right here.
Okay.
This, where it says city clerk, the rate per hour, I took that rate times 40 hours a week to get, do you see that? 40 hours a week, and then I took that times 52 weeks in a year to come up with how much it would be for the year.
Now, is that for the city clerk?
Yes, that's for the city clerk.
So the city clerk makes how much a year according to your figures?
The 53,601.80.
53,601.80, okay.
And then the maintenance man, I took the amount that he makes per hour, times it by 40 hours a week, times by 52 weeks in a year, to come up with 51,625.60.
Oh, okay. So JD makes $51,625.60 a year.
Yes.
All right.
And then I had to add in for Donna, I added in time for her because she had already worked a week for my vacation, but I am gonna be off for surgery and everything. So, and then she'll be working during tax time. So I just roughly increased it by $4,200 altogether, the administrative fees altogether.
The majority of that amendment is for the Oakwood project, 121,000 and some change.
So we really don't need to amend salaries at this time because we're probably going to have code enforcement salary that's been allocated that we're not even going to be using because we haven't had a code enforcement officer for how long. So I don't know that the budget needs to be amended for those salaries at this point. I don't think we're going to use all that money that's already allocated. And the Oakwood project, I think we need to get bids to see what it's going to cost before we allocate that money.
I plead that you guys would pass this ordinance tonight, first reading, because you're prolonging it.
No, there's no reason not that we can't get bids.
We can get bids. We already got one quote from the engineer that was 121,000.
Yeah, but the
Now,
bids, we got to get at least three bids.
We do,
right?
we
Okay.
do, but what, I don't see what your point is in putting this off.
I don't want to put it off. I want to go ahead and bid it.
I mean, passing the ordinance to amend the budget.
I don't see why you're rushing it. We just got it tonight. And there's no reason why we can't go ahead and bid that project.
We can. as soon as Art Harden gets finished with what he has to turn into us. This is the amending of the budget to go ahead and have it ready
Right.
for when those bids come in.
When those bids come in, we're ready to get that project done.
Mayor, I'm gonna ask if Megan can, she did a real good job over here. I'm slowly catching up a little bit on explaining some of the numbers on the increase. But if on the left side, the numbers 1 through 30, if she could show the.
I didn't mess with any of that, Annie. Those are, I just pulled that paper to show the increase in the salaries. It has nothing to do with all those numbers on the back.
She just used this box. And then that was. Nothing over there changed.
If you amend the budget now, it gives us this to work with. It's gonna go back in whatever's left over. It's not being allocated to anything else but this particular.
Those numbers are in.
I'll make a motion that we
those
amend the
numbers are
budget,
over On the,
or we at least vote on it.
this is the only
Or
thing
the
I was
first
showing
reading
here.
of the budget?
Yeah.
To show where this
Whatever.
was short and this was short.
Gotcha.
That, this didn't have anything to do with it. You understanding? Okay. Okay.
I do have an open mind. You don't have to do it to me again.
If Megan's PC crashes, there is not another PC in this office that will be able to handle, take backup, just back it up to.
So it sounds like we need to buy another external hard drive?
No, she's using an old PC, her Windows is outdated, her machine is crashed, she's got error messages come across it. She doesn't have enough memory to run the program, the tax program that she runs. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 hours, and then her computer's locked up, she can't do nothing else on her computer while that tax program's running.
And what happened to the other?
And it's no longer supported.
Those are laptops. Those are not desktops.
Why didn't we just buy desktops in the first place? They're a lot cheaper.
Can I put forth a thought on this, guys? As a department that just had its main PC crash and burn, like phenomenally bad, you don't want that to happen.
So we bought the wrong computers in the beginning.
Well, no, you need to have a main computer that the city uses as its point of function. The other stuff is kind of like satellite substations coming into it. But they can work, take it with them, and go to meetings, do their projections and stuff. So the laptops are great for that. But you need that central PC that's got the memory, it's got the speed. And if you got one that's getting ready to crash, you don't want that booger to go down on you. It will be ugly.
So we need to get another external hard drive to download all the stuff that we have so it doesn't get lost until this problem gets fixed.
She's got to take backup, but she don't have another machine that can handle that program.
And the other computers that were outdated,
They only got 2, they're gone, they're toast, those are too small. The hard drives in these laptops is only 256 megabytes.
I don't have
She
any
needs
problem
at
with
least
it.
a 3 terabyte hard drive running RAID 1, which means there's 2 hard drives that simultaneously write to each other in case of failure.
I don't have any problem with upgrading that computer and improving those.
are we gonna get bids on that?
They also gave us a bid
Of,
How
of
much
the
is that?
machine for her,
How much was it, Fred?
42.
for desktop?
Yes.
Did this problem just start?
No, I knew it was coming, that it was gonna need, because they told us that Windows was gonna be going out in the first of the year.
So when we bought laptops before, would it have been a good idea?
Well, their
Bundle?
laptops weren't even working, so
Right.
we were trying to get that done first.
So Donna could go ahead and start with the ordinances on the website.
I don't think we ever had any problem with updating the equipment.
Well, that's how the city has to be run, you know, we don't want to have to spend the money on it, but if we don't have it, we can't do what we need to do.
And that's what we put in here.
And that's part of what's in that budget.
Can I speak?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah.
You want to come up to the podium?
Yeah, I can.
Just
If,
push
if
the
people
button.
have a hard time hearing.
No, it's whatever you want. If you want to push that button there. Yeah, just identify your name and.
I'm Debbie Steinhauer. Pretty much everybody knows me.
Yes.
Yeah. Just wanting to talk to you about the Oakwood project. Number one, I just have to say that I'm just thrilled that our mayor did get this money. I mean, I think the final number was $122,775. And that's a lot of money that we don't have to spend. And the figures are there, are on black and white. Now, I know a lot of people have seen the pictures and the videos, and a lot of people haven't. But you're welcome to stay afterwards with me, and I'll sit down with you, and I'll get that phone out, and I'll show you what we've been dealing with for a very long time, over a decade, some people. Now, I'm not blaming this administration or the previous administration. It's just there. And people, if we're gonna move forward, we're gonna have to move forward. It takes money to run this city. I was sitting there thinking when we were talking about these computers, I'm not getting into my boss's business. But that's a little business up there. Can you imagine how much money we spend? If you've seen the order that I made before I left, you'd faint. We have to spend it. Just like with the stuff that we appreciate the accountability. Everybody has to be accounted for. But we have to do something to move forward to get some stuff done. Our little city looked like crap. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. It does. Matter of fact, I was out picking up lunch and run into a council member and was talking to this lovely lady and her husband. And I said, I've been riding around the city. They said, it looks awful, don't it? And I said, yes, it does. We can't get nowhere because I come to these meetings and everybody just sitting around arguing all night. I want this budget amended, and I want them to get working on that road before somebody falls and gets killed down there. I mean, that water's gonna freeze. It freezes down there in the wintertime. The dollar and cents, I mean, everybody's got a calculator, figure it out. And I will personally see to it that money goes back in the account. I mean, we've got to do something, people. Just can't keep him hawing around. Gotta move. It's gotta be done. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
What do you need us to do?
This is the first reading that Megan will have.
Before we do any voting, I'd like to address council, and I would like to address the people that are here. I can either do it from right here, or I can stand up at that podium.
Go ahead, Dan.
All right, this budget that was given to us was not on our council packets. I have made snap decisions before when I was given information at the time of a council meeting that I wasn't able to look at, and things got through that never should have gotten through. I need time to look at this, read this, and ask more questions. I am not saying do not amend the budget for the Oakwood to get estimates on quotes. Get the estimate, get the quotes, get that done. But all this other stuff that I'm not looking at, that I need to have explained to me, I'd be daggone if I'm gonna make another yes vote on
I
passing the
understand
treasurer's
that, Danny.
report or
This is not a
anything.
second reading, it's a first reading.
I'm just letting you know, the first reading also.
And we're not passing anything. That gives you time to read this, and the reason you don't have it is because we just got it finished today.
But things got added to this that weren't necessary.
Oh.
We will be glad to, I would be glad to vote tonight to say move forward with the cost of Oakwood and the computers. But
Okay.
adding salaries on here. that
What
are
about
not
Donna's
necessary-
salary that we have to pay her? She's covering for Megan for these things.
If she, yes, and,
Well, how did the old
but right
city
now
get
you
by?
have money in the budget to do that. That's not something that needs to be done today. You slip that in at the
Oh,
last
we did
minute.
not, don't start that, because we didn't slip in anything. Everybody got a copy of this today. We're looking at it. It's a first reading. It's not a second reading. We're not passing anything. You have time to take this home and dissect it. We just have four different changes? We have the computers, we have Oakwood project, and we have administrative fees and the bison and the beautification. That's it. That's it. Don't be nasty.
I'm not.
I'm just, yes, you are.
No, we're just telling you that we get things at the last minute, we don't have time to review them, and we're expected to move forward with them.
We're not voting on this tonight to pass it. It's a first reading.
All right, I'm just expressing my opinion. And Debbie, I want to move forward with your project, absolutely. I've always been supportive.
Well,
of it.
I appreciate that very much. I
And the
really do.
computers that we need.
And this budget's not stopping us getting estimates on bids on getting that thing started, okay? This budget's not stopping bids from being given and people starting getting in line to work on it. That's
We
not,
have another month before we do the second reading. We could possibly have those bids ready.
That would be wonderful.
We can pass a budget in 2 days. We can have 2 readings in 2 days, so we're not holding up anything.
Well,
No,
if you
and
get,
I
We don't have to wait
completely
another
agree.
month.
if you get people here for a special meeting, that would be great. But that
Yeah.
doesn't always work out so well.
Absolutely, and listen, we could, I mean, I feel that the council and the mayor and, you know, the people that work with her, I feel like, you know, to make sure that everything's correct and at the best price or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not just talking about Oakwood, I'm just talking about everything in general. I just want it to go smoothly and us work together as a group and care about each other and get something done. That's what I want. Isn't that what everybody else wants?
Yes. Yep, absolutely.
Amen.
You're saying
Legal.
absolutely, but you're saying I'm slipping things in here to define people, and that's not the case. I'm not getting anything out of this, and we're not having to take anything out of our reserves. This is what's coming into the city without even touching our reserves. And we're saving that, what, 122,000 without even messing with those reserves or
And
CDs.
thank God, because we can
That's
spend
my whole
that
purpose, Debbie,
amount of
that's all
money.
it's been. I don't have any
On something else.
agenda but to help this city. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna have a first reading?
Yep.
Do I need to reread it, even though I read it the first time?
You already summarized it. So there's a,
So we don't make changes on first reading, we make changes on second reading, is that correct? Or
we just voted down.
or you vote it down on second reading? Yeah, we're not gonna do that. As far as I'm concerned, we had a first reading, we can go ahead and we can make the changes at the second, if we wanna make any. Debbie, your project's moving forward.
I appreciate that.
By the time we have the second reading, will we have the 3 bids we need to?
I'm gonna try. I'm part-time, remember that? But I will definitely have that in place
what do you mean,
if I can.
Mayor, what do you mean you're part-time?
I'm a part-time mayor.
I've been,
I'm working full-time, but I will try to have that, yes.
I'm just concerned with it passing without having numbers in front of everybody.
We will have those numbers. We're not voting on that tonight. Anybody else in the public would like to speak or say anything?
Madam Mayor, I'm Terry Centers, by the way. I don't think I need the mic. Most people can hear me. I think it's very important, one, to get a computer for Megan. I mean, I don't think we can wait a month or 2 months on that. Now, I don't know about everybody else's home, but I've got a computer with a dual system in it at home. And then my wife uses a laptop, and it works well that way. Because, you know, I've got a lot more speed and my system can do more. So Fred, from what he said, with the amount of memory that's got and the speed of that processor, I'd say that's a cheap model for 4,200. So I would strongly recommend that we go ahead and get that, because once it goes, it's done, and it's amazing you're getting anything out of Windows 7. I'll say that right now. Windows 10's been out way too long. And I think the project over in Oak Brook is another thing that needs to be moving. So if we can get the bids on that, I think would be a good leap into the future. Thank you.
Working in technology for 23 years on Megan's computer, let's look at the future and make sure we have enough space to add more memory so that we don't get in this position again.
Already done that.
Okay, thanks.
And it's running 3 terabyte, 2 3 terabyte hard drives.
Okay, perfect.
And we're
Thanks.
running a RAID 1.
My point is, 2 years from now, you don't want to have to rehash this.
Yes. Thank you.
Be a lot cheaper to just buy more memory.
At this time, we will need to go into executive session in regards to litigation of property, and that is KRS 61.8101B. And we will come back into session after we go into executive session. We will come back into, I need a motion to go into executive
I'll make a
session.
motion to go into executive
And this
session.
is for the 208 property.
Litigation.
We're talking about the value of the property.
Future acquisition, sale of the property.
Future acquisition of the property.
Acquisition.
We'll have a second to go in executive session, talk about this.
Hey, we need a second.
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Okay,
Danny?
okay, yes.
To go into executive session. Todd,
Yeah.
Paula,
Yeah.
Jennifer,
No. We asked everybody to be dismissed until we discuss this, and you're welcome to come back in. Lee, I'll get to talk with you later. You're gonna